been a mad week. It would appear that it is a mad world. So on that note, thank you for tuning in to Christianity Out Loud's weekly word. There's a bit going on all around the world, but I'm going to focus on Victoria. A little bit on New South Wales because it's silly season down in New South Wales at the moment with the state election looming. That's always very good when the person promoting electric buses, the electric bus that they're on for their campaign, runs out of battery and they need to charge it. That's always fun. But down in Victoria is a bit of a mess at the moment. We've got a premier down there who is just a left-wing activist. There is nothing else that can be said about Premier Daniel Andrews. He's taken every extreme left-wing position possible over the past, since COVID really, since he locked everybody down for something like 260 ridiculous and unnecessary days, causing irreparable damage, and we've been all over that before. Don't want to revisit that. But we have down there over the weekend a women's rights rally. Okay? Fair enough. You want to have a women's rights rally? Have a women's rights rally. You see, historically, we go back 110 years, 120 years, 90 years, something like that. You had women fighting for equality under the law. And I'm not going to delve into the history of that. But they didn't end up getting it. Okay? Fair enough. Then had made such progress that really women are afforded no less rights under the law that men are. They have their own sporting leagues, their own sponsorships. They've reached the highest public office in numerous countries. They've reached the highest private office in private industries. They've been CEOs. One of Australia's richest people, Gina Reinhardt, is a woman. But we're still having women's rights rallies. Now, why would that be? Well, it would be because this whole gender ideology push, okay, now sees someone like me, all of that. All I have to do is claim that I'm a female, claim that I'm a woman, I identify as a woman. Everybody therefore must treat me as a woman. So I can go into all of these traditionally female-owned spaces, like bathrooms, change rooms, etc. Okay, I am free to do that. Complain about that at your own risk. Alright? But not only that, there has been a significant increase across various countries of trans women, so men pretending to be women, okay, who are then taking women's places, winning women's awards, all of that, okay? And that's what this was about. So we have a women's rights rally, okay? Keynote speaker or main speaker was Kellie-Jay Keen, who is English, okay? Who of course our mainstream media over here don't like because she's actually for women's rights, not trans rights and all of that, okay? But it is unfortunate when you have a very small group of people who actually adhere to Nazi ideology turn up. That's unfortunate, okay? Because nobody I know thinks that Nazi ideology is something that we should be ascribing to. It's not good, okay? It is not good. Right, I could wax lyrical about how dreadful it is. Suffice to say, it is dreadful. It's not good. It's not what we need. Okay? Go look at the early church. in the book of Acts. Go look at what Jesus is preaching. He was not preaching any sort of racial superiority. Okay? And that was followed through into the early church in Acts. Right? Acts 1 through 7. Go read it. Okay? But they decide to turn up. So, of course, our wonderful media, because our media never let the truth get in the way of a good story, decided to lump it all together. So we got the Nazis, therefore everything was about that. Which again is kind of a joke when you think about it, because it was a group of men, right, dressed up, all covered, right, turning up at a women's rights rally, Let Women Speak, and the mainstream media saw fit to publicise the men over the women. I just don't understand. I do not understand it. But anyway, it's Victoria. I'm not meant to understand it. But of course we have Mr. Daniel Andrews jumping up and down all about it. Okay? But here is the but. Because Daniel Andrews, none of this is welcome. We don't like Nazis, hatred and bigotry and blah blah blah. Daniel, shut up. Opposition leader, right? Daniel Andrews is left. He is Labour. So I don't like his views, but at least I know where his views are coming from. They're coming from that side of the aisle. Side, if you're watching me, coming from my left. The Liberal National Party, the supposed Conservative Party here in Australia. Victorian leader John Pesutto. John, in the unlikely event that you ever come across this, I don't know you personally. I've never met you personally. It's unlikely that I would ever meet you personally. Right? But if we did come across, and if you do, for some reason, see this, let it be known, right, that little old me up here in Queensland, North Brisbane, okay, think you are weak, feckless, and ineffective as an opposition leader. And if this is the way you're going to treat your female members of Parliament, then as far as I'm concerned, do the entire movement a favour and resign. Go away. In fact, go join Daniel Andrews. Such is your weakness and your ineffectiveness and your lack of moral standing. So, why the tirade at John Pesutto? Well, see, the Liberal MP Moira Deeming attended the women's rights rally. Being a woman, I would have thought that was well within her prerogative to attend a women's rights rally. Maybe that's just my radical thinking, but hey, here I am, the Christian radical. So Moira Deeming has turned up, said some words, okay, made a speech. No idea what the content of what she said, okay? But of course, because these 7 or 8 Muppets of Nazis turned up, right, doing the salute and all that jazz, and our media has lumped it all together, John Pesutto has just gone, well, we don't want people who associate with Nazis in our political party, therefore I'm going to put forward a motion to have Moira Deeming expelled. And I read this, and my mind has already exploded at the lack of honesty by our media's reporting. Why it surprises me, I don't know. I should not be surprised at our media's dishonesty. I'm not surprised that Daniel Andrews jumped up and down all over this, because he would sooner cut the genitals of every boy and turn them into an androgynous, sterile blob down in Victoria to satisfy whatever weird fetish he has about it. He would sooner do that, right, than work through any mental illness or conditions that the very small minority of people who suffer gender dysphoria and these sorts of feelings go through. He would rather just, no, snip, done, right? That is established. But to hear this and see this and read this coming from the opposition in Victoria, this is the party that is supposed to be standing as an alternate to Daniel Andrews and his Maoist ways. See, I've said a few weeks ago that we have no opposition here in Australia. What we have is a movement led by the Labor Party and the Greens are radical. The Greens would rather sterilise every child, turn everybody gay, shut off every coal plant, put solar panels everywhere. They're more than happy for the fact that these solar panels run off batteries that contain minerals and materials dug out of slave mines in Africa. They're more than happy with that, as long as they're out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, however it goes. And these inner city hipster greeny types are very happy to go and tell people in the bush how to live. They're just a terrible political party who should be voted into oblivion. But for some reason, as a very small part of our political landscape, they wield such unruly power, and they've got the Labor Party bent over a barrel. So this movement is all Labor and Greens. And then the Liberal National Party, that's supposed to be the Conservatives, supposed to be against that, supposed to be for traditional values, just allows themselves to be dragged along for the ride. It is just disappointing. If you are a conservative, traditionalist Christian in New South Wales, I have no idea who you vote for in this state election. It can't be Labor and the Greens. It can't be. Their core values are so far removed, take Christianity out of it, are so far removed from conservative or traditional values, you cannot vote for Labor or the Greens. But can you vote for Dominic Perrottet and the Liberal National Party? I don't know. Perrottet's supposed to be a Catholic, yet he stands by transgender affirming care. Mark McGowan in Western Australia has run that state like a tyrant during the period of COVID. Where's the Liberal National Party jumping up and down about that? Nowhere. On that, the Liberal National Party in New South Wales locked everybody down and ran it like a tyrant. She ran it like a tyrant. Gladys Berejiklian ran it like an absolute tyrant. Here in Queensland, our Premier was flying all over the world to seal, Olympic Games bids, where you could have done that via Zoom online, considering you flew to Japan. So the time difference is 1 hour. It's not big. That could have been done, but I had to stay home. We all had to stay home. We had to keep our children home. All of that's fine. No, you can't cross the border. We won't allow anybody over the border, but we'll fly wives and girlfriends and families of every rugby league player up from Sydney into Brisbane. Where is the Liberal National Party here in New South Wales about that? Absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. David Crucifoli has yet to make public comment on mandates, vaccines, lockdowns, border closures. He's yet to make comment about school closures. He's yet to make comment about anything cultural. I've emailed him 3 times. I get his general emails. I've responded 3 times. The first time, still remember, what are your main concerns? Lockdowns and mandates. I hear you. your main concern is crime. No, my main concern is lockdowns and mandates. As I said, my main concern is the attack on religious freedom here in Queensland. My main concern in the Liberal National Party is weak, ineffective, feckless, moralless leadership, as demonstrated here by John Pesutto down in Victoria. I mean, what do we do? What do we do? We need people. You know what we need? We don't need politicians. These people that go into politics with the best of intentions turn around and end up just becoming part of the machine. Is it time for Christian anarchy? I don't mean complete and utter lawlessness. What I mean is we have the Bible. We have a set of laws. We have a set of rules that we can abide by. But what do we do at a political level? What do we do when the likes of John Pesutto don't even stand up for the women in his own political party when she was at a women's rights event? John Pesutto, if you are not discerning enough to tell the difference between a few Muppets dressed in Nazi costumes doing a silly salute and the fact that they are clearly not representative of the women's event, then John, resign. You have no place. But of course, the best part about this is Daniel Andrews, Premier Daniel Andrews. Oh, we're going to outlaw the Nazi salute. Great. Hey Daniel, can we outlaw child genital mutilation via chemical and surgical castration while we're at it? Any chance we could outlaw that? Because a bloke wants to stand there and do a silly salute. Okay, up to him. I actually believe in freedom of expression. I don't agree with what he's expressing, but he should have the right to express it. But nobody should be sterilising children. And no men, regardless, mental illness, gender dysphoria, genuine or not, no men should be taking the place of women. There are women's sports to be competed by and against women. Trans women are not women. This is not a matter of identification. This is a matter of biological fact. Get on board or get off, John Pesutto. And if I do ever meet you, John Pesutto, I tell you this exact same thing to your face. So yeah, call me a keyboard warrior for hiding behind a screen. Don't care. If I come across you, yeah, I'd shake your hand, but I'd tell you that you're weak, you're ineffective, you are not an opposition leader, nor do you stand for any traditional conservative values. So, get out, let someone in who will actually be a true alternative. On that note, until next week, God bless.